Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's videos, guys, we are going to be reacting to a video of a palm-colored baby who said the quiet part out loud.
Right, and this he told to his counterpart who was a melanated child. And this melanated child gave him an instant karma, and they would later be sent to a principal's office.
Yeah.
Now, it is what the family of this melanated baby did that would send the mother of the palm-colored boy running for the rest of her life.
Yeah, but guys, what are we talking about? Let's watch this video and then we come back and talk about it. And guys, as I normally say, you know, for children to come out, they are kids, very, very innocent, right? But for them to come out and say some things that are not appropriate to say or to do towards a person, they had to have had it somewhere, you know.
Right, because kids are innocent, and if they a certain behavior, they're learning it from somewhere. So guys, let's watch this video and then we come back and talk about it.
Let us know what you think about it, and most importantly, what would you have done if you were the parent to that melanated girl? Let's watch.
Keep the comments respectful, guys. Keep it respectful. Let's watch.
Why'd I just get off the phone with my grandmother and she decided to remind me of the time when I was in 5th grade and I had just left private school. I begged my mom to let me go to public school with the rest of my friends. And I was on the playground playing with this little white boy. I don't know what I did to him. I was probably being bossy, which is very on brand for me. But he found it necessary to call me a... Now, I didn't understand the gravity nor the seriousness of being called it. But I did know that bitch was a bad word and that he had just called me a bitch. Now, my reply to him in my little innocent teeny bopper brain was, you know what? That attitude is probably why your parents have to drop you off and pick you up from school separately. I would like the record to reflect that I did not have a concept of divorce at that age, nor did I know that his parents were going through a very nasty divorce, nor did I know that he was in therapy because of said divorce. Now, I immediately see the shift in his demeanor, and this boy starts boo-hoo crying. Now, as an adult, I realize, because I've reinforced probably a deep thought that he had, that he's responsible for his parents divorcing, and he literally could not take it. A teacher finally comes over because they see him crying, they see me looking at him crazy, and the teacher asks me what's going on, like what happened. Now again, in my teeny bopper brain, I did not understand the gravity of what this little boy called me, so I told her. He called me a bitch, and I said his parents pick him up and drop him off separately. Teacher stares at me for a good 10-15 seconds. Then she finally sends us to the office. Now at that point, my mom had never really showed her ass at my school, but I could tell they were apprehensive about calling her. So they call her while she's at work, mistake number one, and they are trying to kind of mitigate and move through what this little boy said to me, but imply that I needed to be picked up by a family member because of an incident between me and another little boy. You know how black moms just be knowing. She immediately told them to put me on the phone. I repeated the entire situation back to her, in which she calmly but very scarily said, "Go ahead and put that principal back on the phone for me." Now, my mom did a whole lot of cussing, yelling, and screaming. I didn't pick up everything, but I did pick this up. She said, if I pull up to that school, y'all are going to need to call the police on me. So it'd be best if you call her grandmother to go and pick her up. That ended up not being a much better option, because after they called my grandmother and let her know what happened and that she needed to come pick me up, she was in the parking lot maybe 7 minutes later, peeled in like she was in Fast and the Furious, left the car on, left the keys in the ignition, was coming up the walkway, threatening everybody, asking him where his mama was at, saying she was going to beat her up. It was a mess. Now, as she's coming up the walkway, my principal and vice principal are trying to have her meet me at the door so she doesn't come inside the building, but she wouldn't have none of that. Comes in her moo-moo, sits down and says, "I'm not going anywhere until his mama gets here." Principal's trying to plead with her, "Man, please just get your granddaughter, go home, have a conversation with her. This is traumatic." And she is not with it at all. She said, "I'm going to sit my black ass right here and wait for his mama to get here so I can really show her what a bitch is." Now, the little boy's mom ends up pulling up, and my grandmother immediately goes off the second she opens that door. My principal's like, "Man, please calm down. Please calm down. Like, I really don't want to have to call the police. This is already traumatizing enough. Like, please just get your grandbaby and go home." Now, my grandma kind of clocks that she needs to calm down, so she grabs me and she looks this white lady in the face and she says, "I need you to understand something. You are not safe outside of these walls. If I catch you off of school grounds, I am going to fuck you up something fierce. I need you to understand that I am mentally ill and that your son fucked up when he called my grandbaby a bitch." She finished it off by saying, this shit don't have a time limit. If I see you 10, 15, 20 years from now, me or my daughter, you are going to get beat the fuck up. Of course, when she took me home, she had the whole conversation with me about being called a slur and how I felt, and, you know, that's something that's just going to happen. And she gave me ice cream and McDonald's, and, you know, it was a real bonding experience for me and her. And funny enough, me and my mom did run into him and his mom years later, so let me know if you want that story. Okay, part 2. First of all, thank you for the likes, follows, shares, all of that. I'm not gonna be, oh my God, I can't believe it went viral. Let's get to the story. So I ended up moving to a different part of my neighborhood when I was in high school. I want to say freshman, sophomore year. I ended up meeting my new neighbor across the street who would end up becoming a really dear friend of mine. And we went to the bus stop. We were talking, coming to find out she was dating some dude who had the same initials as a dude I was talking to at the time. And lo and behold, that the dude she was dating was the dude who called me a dick. So, of course, at that point, I'm a lot more racially aware. Like, in my head, I did have the understanding that he learned that from somewhere. I never had another incident with him. And, of course, if you grow up in the same neighborhood, you will most likely go to the same elementary, middle, and high school. So I was still around him. I just never really had to interact with him. So, of course, he's around her house more often. I'm over at her house more often. We've had a couple of here and there conversations. We've obviously never really hung out. But, you know, he was cool. I was cool. We don't speak of the incident. You ain't got no problems. I don't have no problems. Now to the run-in. So by high school graduation, they're still dating, they're still talking, whatever, and it's time for my neighbor's graduation party. At this point, I've completely forgotten really, truly the whole incident. Like, it's no longer in my brain. My mother obviously loves her like a daughter, so she's over there, she has her gift, we're there, kikiing, ha-haing, he's there. So out the corner of my eye, I see a woman who I vaguely recall, but like I can't put my finger on who it is. Now, I don't clock it. But apparently when my mother and grandmother said on site, she meant on site. Once his mom hugs, kisses her son, hugs, kisses my neighbor, she turns and her and my mother lock eyes. I want to say they kept this staring contest up for about a good 7 seconds. After which my mother decided she was tired of staring. She started to shift in her seat and she lifted herself up. That lady wasted no time in dropping her gift off to my friend, picking up the rest of her shit and hightailing it the fuck up out of there. But there was no altercation. My mom obviously really wasn't going to fight this lady at my friend's graduation party. She most definitely would have caught her ass in the parking lot, if anything. But yeah, that lady quickly recalled what my grandmother said. And that just goes to show the type of people my grandmother and mother are.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this video in the comment section, yeah? And you know, guys, as we said in the intro, yeah, earlier, kids are very innocent when they're born, and when they act a certain way or say some certain words, they've learned it from somewhere, yeah?
Right. And what I have to say is, for me, I feel like her parents, the parents of the melanated kid, they acted accordingly. And they didn't back down even when there are reasons that would have made them conform to the institution, you know.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand why, okay, both of the kids abused each other, but it was a reaction
for the
of
girl,
what
it wasn't even an abuse.
She just didn't know it was the current situation the boy was living, you know. She just said it, you know. And what I found quite funny was, after what happened, the school wanted to send the kid home, the black kid, and they didn't even say what punishment they'd give to the boy, you know. But what I like about the situation is the family of the black kid, they handled the situation well.
Yeah, and I liked how the parents, the guardians, that's the mom and the grandmom, they handled business, you know. And I was like, if you're a kid, do you know what that does to you when your mom stands up for you like that? You feel safe, you know.
Especially if someone wronged you and you only reacted out of an action that was done to you.
Yeah, so let's get back to this boy. I wonder what is being said behind closed doors.
What
was being said behind the closed doors by his mom and his dad, for him to specifically know the words to use to hurt not just any normal person, but to hurt someone from another race, you know.
Right.
And that's a child.
Given that his counterpart, because they were in the same class, this girl didn't know what the slash was called, what it meant. So in that regard, she knew the second word. In that regard, the first word did not hurt her as the boy intended. She reacted because she knew the second second word what it meant. But for this other boy to even know, if I choose this specific word and combine it with the one that the girl knew, it was strong enough to hurt that girl.
Yeah, he was hoping for a lethal combination, but let's just
finish the job.
Yeah, let's just say that girl also, her response ate, her
she ate it up.
Yeah, she didn't even intend to hurt his feelings. So you
I
see,
feel like it was God working with the girl, or let's just say it was the ancestors working with the girl, because she didn't know the meaning of what she was called, yet she gave an adequate response to send this boy to therapy.
Without even having to insult him.
Yes, because she told him the truth of what was going on without knowing it was what was going on. And then guys, you know, in this world they usually say this world is too small, and it's for a reason, because people meet, and you meet when you never expect to meet somebody. And this girl and this boy met again, but nowhere in her statement did I ever hear her say this boy or the mother of this boy apologized to her or her family. So the only issue I had with the follow-up of what she told her audience is that I feel like she was cordial with him. She had no business being around him.
If I understood it correctly, she said that that person with the same initial, she was talking to that person, meaning she was still communicating with him. You know, you can't just let bygones be bygones,
especially if someone hasn't admitted that I wronged you. Yeah, she doesn't have any business giving her presence to that guy, man, boy.
Accountability is very important, and this family didn't have any. You know, that's why the mother keeps running, avoiding. Who knows how many number of times that
she saw the black family in the corner and took the other route, just to get away from the black family, because she was afraid of being jammed.
And this is what I say, this is how racists are born, this is how racists are made, you know. And I'm like, this boy, whatever the encounter he had with the lady, I feel like it taught him a very good lesson. Next time, before you dare go to a black person and talk to them, you will know the consequences you'll face, even putting your family in danger. Because I do have a feeling like that encounter itself changed his life.
I hope it did, because you can have a feeling, but it might as well turn out to be the opposite. Because you know, I wonder, you know, it's much easier if I, like, for example, if I wrong you or if I wrong you, it's much easier for if I meet you the next time we meet, it's much easier for me to just apologize so that I can be freely walking down the street. But this woman, she didn't even address the mother of this black kid. She just chose to drop her gift and quickly run out of there. Until when will you run, surely?
And if you behave like that, what are you teaching your child? There was another story I saw on TikTok where a kid who was being raised right by the mom, and they were palm colored. That the mom was called to school that her son had called another child a racial slur. The mom quickly rushed to school, got the kid, and then after they got home, when the others had also gotten home, she immediately took them to the melanated person's family, and she demanded that he apologizes to the family. And the punishment she gave the son, I think there's something he used to like, so I don't know if it was his PlayStation or what. He decided to confiscate that, and her personally put him on community work and told him the reason she was doing that is because he's not allowed to disrespect any other person from another race because they're different.
And I'm like, quite frankly, I really like those types of moms, because they let their kids know this is wrong. Because there's also another incident where another little boy called little girl the sly, and the mom, she bought flowers for that boy, because he's still a baby, he can't buy his own flowers. She bought flowers for him, and she told him, you have to be a man now. Whatever you did, you should go and apologize to that little girl, And he went, he apologized, and then she had a talk with him about why it was wrong for him to do what he did. And so I feel like for those moms who are putting in the work out there to raise their kids right, I feel like they deserve a kudos,
Yeah, that is really nice of them, because at the end of the day, a kid, how an adult turns out is how they were raised by their parents.
As
And if a
kids.
parent lacks accountability, don't expect their baby to ever have accountability unless they're those types of individuals that despite the environment that they're brought up in, they turn out differently, which is very rare. People most of the time turn out how
be
they
like
were
their
raised.
parents.
Yeah. So like being that you look at this kid how they are, if he lacks accountability, look at the person who raised him. Most probably they also do lack the same accountability, which is very important in today's society.
Right. So guys, please let us know, what do you think of this episode? Do you agree with how her family handled the situation?
Personally, I do. I don't see no problem with it, you know.
Me either. And what do you think? Could you have done anything differently if you are in that position? Let us know
Imagine
what you
being
think
called by your child's school to be told that
you should come pick up your kid because she's had a difficult day at school, and then only to find out another kid called her the slur.
Yeah, the best person to deal with in that situation is not even the child. Go for that
mom.
Go for that parent.
The parent, sorry, not the mom, the parent.
I liked that.
So
they handled it.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if you're new to this channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.